Cody.
And I'm Amber. I'm Cody's mom. And today we're going to make an Easter craft. And it's kind of a combination of the hill of Golgotha, the hill that Jesus died on, with the 3 crosses, and also of the tomb and the stone that was rolled away for Jesus to ultimately come back,
Like
rise from the dead.
Kind of like a zombie.
He is risen. Kind of like a zombie, but not. Jesus was not a zombie, because when he came back to life, he was still living. And I don't recall Jesus eating anyone, so. Anyway, so we have a stick, and the first thing we're going to do is just kind of snap this stick. And you know, when you make a cross, your cross has a longer middle than it does the crossover. So I'm just going to try to snap this without poking Cody in the face. Just going to try to snap it, and if it doesn't work, I'll find something to cut it with. That's pretty good. And so then I want a shorter piece for the cross over.
How do you snap those so easily?
And then there you have it, a cross.
But we will tie it together.
We will. So pull off some string, and we're using twine just because it looks a little more natural. I don't want any bright colors or anything like that. And pull off, you know, a fair amount. And then we have our glue gun, and what we're going to do first is we are going to glue these 2 pieces together. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue right where I think the stick should cross over to make a nice cross. And then I'm going to hold them together until it dries.
It's very fast drying glue.
Very fast. I love hot glue. Okay, so this is our bigger cross. I don't know if you can see this. This will be our bigger cross. So the one in the middle, you know, always looks bigger.
And just like that, it is done.
One more. There were 3 crosses.
Are they the same size?
Jesus, we believe as Christians that Jesus is the Son of God. And he came to earth, died on the cross, so that we could be forgiven for our sins. There's not many people in this world that I would die for. There are people, not many, definitely not all. So to me, that's pretty impressive. And I just know for a fact that Jesus would have died for just me or just you. He came, he died for people that I wouldn't die for. And to me, that's worth my attention. So Jesus was hung on a cross for sins that he did not commit, for sins that you and I committed. He died sin-free. Sin-free. Okay, so now I'm going to put a little bit more hot glue. Let me come around. Let me come around so they can. Don't cut anything.
No.
Just hold on. Yeah, go ahead. Actually, go ahead and cut 2 more pieces. So we're going to take and put just a little bit of hot glue right here where the sticks cross over, right in the X in that corner.
That's a perfect
Just a little
size.
drop. And then if you take your twine and go ahead and stick it in there and let that dry for just a minute. And then you start wrapping it. catty-cornered
Hey, Goldie.
over this way. And then when you get over here, when you get to the bottom, wrap it the other way. So basically you're making an X across. I'm going to do 2. And then when I get to the bottom, I'm going to start coming back up the other side. 2. When I get to the bottom, I'm going to come up the other side. And you just do this until you like the way it looks. I like that. That's a little bit bulky, but I think that's good. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. But what I want to do is I want to figure out what side I want to be the front and what side I want to be the back. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it where I want the back to be.
Let's not leave the
Because you don't want extra string hanging off. So I'm going to go ahead. And then I'm going to put just a little bit more glue on the back. And because I don't like getting burnt, I'm going to use the tip of my scissors and press it down in the glue. And it's okay if a little bit of this glue gets on your scissors. It will roll right off. And you just hold it for just a second. Hot glue works fast. There you have it. There's one. So we're going to do this 2 more times so we have our 3 crosses. And if anybody hears the oinking, yes, I have a pig in my house. It's a mini pig. His name is Woozle.
That's not Woozle, that's Apple. She has a much louder honk.
I have 2 pigs in my house actually because I'm training one to be a house pig to go and live with someone else.
And then just wrap it around?
Like an X. So wrap it 2 times. And then when you get to the bottom, come up the other side. Yep. You're going to cut it where you're going to glue it. You want to cut it. You have all this extra string. Cut it where you're going to glue it. Leave yourself enough to glue. Don't cut my finger.
I won't.
Alright. And hold. Press and hold.
You want to make sure you use scissors, or you either get burnt, or it will stick your finger to the stick, and when you pull back, it will rip the stick.
And here's our 3 crosses. This is going to be the opening of our tomb.
Why do we have fire?
I don't want it to necessarily look like a clay pot. I want it to look like a tomb. So I'm going to take just a few minutes and go ahead and paint the inside of this gray. What I want to do is pull this back where I have enough room to work. I have about maybe 3 or 4 inches, and I don't want to put it dead in the center. I'm going to set it over to the side a little. That's my personal preference. You can put this dead in the center, but I want to put it to the side just a little, and I want to do scenery here, like a little fairy garden. Keep this from rolling around and moving all over the place. I'm going to try to go ahead and hot glue this here. And if my mom saw me putting hot glue on this, I would probably be in so much trouble. Okay, so I'm going to just stick the bottom of it in there, and that would just try to keep it from rolling around. That would just hold my spot. And put a little right where it's touching here too. Just a little. And that should hold it pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to take the stones. There's some really pretty stones that came in this sleuthing kit here. And I want to pick out some of the prettiest ones. The flattest, prettiest ones, because they can't weigh very much. If they weigh too much, they're not going to stick. They're just going to fall right off. And we're going to glue some stones around that outside of this as soon as I dig out the flat ones. River rock would be good for this. Very thin river rock. Don't do that. Rock and clay. This is not good glue for this. You should probably use something like, oh God, I forget what it's called. Like that 5,000 glue. So important for me to know what that's called. I'll put a little picture of it and let y'all see what I'm talking about. Oh, and I'm out of glue. Make sure you have plenty of glue before you start your projects.
Bye. I'm sorry.
Out of hot glue. And you can, here's a little hack for you. There is more glue inside of here. You can take something that won't melt. This will melt if I leave it in there long enough, but you can push something in here and get more glue out. I'm going to do that and see if I can make it to the end, but if I can't, I have handy dandy Dollar General super glue. Putting hot glue on top of something that you've painted with an acrylic paint is not always a good idea either. It will not hold. This is the wrong glue. I have so much regret right now from not thinking about using a better glue in advance. Oh, I've melted my paintbrush. So now I just have some regular potting mix that I'm going to pretty much fill this with. That's what I have in my bowl here. I just planted all my garden seeds. I had full intentions on telling the story of Easter while I was doing this. But I think my brain won't allow me to concentrate on both things at once. But I love DLTK Bible lessons for my kids. It's free, and of course we all love that. So now everything is glued together. The soil is in, and I have this grass because I don't want to plant seeds. I want this today. I do not want to make a science project out of it and watch seeds grow and so forth and so on. I want this to be pretty today. So I went outside with a shovel and made little like sod pieces from some grass that was growing. And I can go ahead and put this on here today. And I left just enough dirt on the bottom of it that it should grow in this soil. It shouldn't give me any kind of problems taking root and growing. I'm going to water it. Just going to kind of tuck it in there. It almost looks like a hobbit house right now, doesn't it? And if my husband saw what I was doing, tearing up the grass, he's going to wonder. I'm going to have a lot of questions to answer about this. But look at that. Ha! And I didn't have to wait. I'm a very impatient person. And I love growing things as much as the next person. Probably more than most. I think I like this. This is good. I might have to cut a little bit because it's overlapping, and you can, once you do this, just get a good pair of scissors and cut it. When we install sod, sometimes we have to cut pieces. And you just kind of shake them together. If you've ever installed sod, you kind of pick up two pieces and make the ends touch and then shimmy them together, and it leaves you with no lines. So there is my hill. I want a little bit more grass in the front of that. Just a little. I'm going to take some pieces and put some pieces in here. And I am going to put the roots down in that soil that I put in there. I will have to water this. And like I said, you can cut what you need with scissors once you have it dug up. And grass is so resilient, it will come right back. If you were to cut through a little piece of root, it will come right back. I like that. Tuck in my edges so that it's just green. And this is not any fancy grass. This is just some weird stuff that was growing under a tree in our yard. It's not like the rest of our grass. It's taller and has some... It's real soft though. I kind of wish our yard had that. Anyway, so there is my hill with a little bit extra grass on the side. Behind it, this is what it looks like in the back. And it's not touching soil back here. So I'm going to add a little bit more soil. And be ready, because this is a messy job. This is a very messy project. I mean, it is for me. Might not be for everyone. It's looking good. Very, very good. And I don't really care much for the brown that's here. So I'm going to continue to pluck my lowest looking grass by the root. You want the root. And I'm going to go ahead and angle it out towards the front. Kind of like fixing some bangs. I'm going to angle it out towards the front. And there we have our tomb. Alright. Now, I put a little extra grass over here because I'm going to overlap this just a hair. And I kind of wanted the grass to be around the outside. And then I'm just going to pack a little bit more grass with soil attached to it behind it because I have a little gap. It's too much. I want to fill in my gaps. I want to make sure that this does not fall. I don't want the rock to fall. It's just sitting there. I'm not gluing it. I'm not doing anything with it to hold it in place other than kind of wedging it down in the soil a little and leaning it back on the grass and the flower pot. And I don't know how you guys are feeling, but this is beautiful already. I have a lot of extra here. I'll go try and patch those places that I dug up before I'm noticed by the other half. And then I'm going to dig out some more of these stones. That's what we have so far. I'm excited. I've always wanted to do one of these because I love it. The Easter story is not just for Easter. It's for all the time. For all the time. Now I have a place to stick my crosses down in this grass. I'm going to twist it and stick it down in there. And I'm probably going to have to give my grass just a little trim. So you can see the crosses. So you can see what it looks like without all my junk in the background. I love it. As you notice, my partner left me You can plan on that if you have kids. You can know that that's going to happen. If they're not artsy and crafty, they're going to get bored really fast. But this is about me and not my kid. He was just helping. So now I want to build like a little pathway right here that leads to it. And so I'm going to start here on the edge and build a little walkway, just like you would if you were putting pavers down in your own walkway. I'm going to use this rock. This is a geode that you can crack open, and it's really pretty on the inside. And I'm going to use this in here on the side though, not as a stepping stone. Just decoration. Oh yeah, now you can see it really good. Okay. So this whole project from start to finish probably took about 30 minutes. And that was including digging up the grass, making the sticks, putting everything down, and yeah, it was totally worth it. I'm digging it. Alright. Thanks you guys for watching. And I hope that it helps you build one of these for yourself. You don't have to use the same exact materials. You can use anything you have. And when all else fails, go to the Dollar Tree. They have everything there. I have this little stone here that looks like it would be a nice resting place for Jesus. And I'm going to place this in the back. I have this old cleaning rag. It's a really thin, like gauzy piece of material that I just keep cutting on and using for projects or cleaning or whatever. So I don't really care about it. I don't care if it gets messed up. And I think that I want to cut a little strip of this just because